is because essentially I'm stronger than most people, so I'm Superman right now. If if a weak person were to punch me, I wouldn't take that much damage. I have the same power set. Superman is only kind of strong and has heightened durability. So essentially, I'm playing. This is like a perfect costume. This is how he walks around now. He's got a Superman t-shirt on.
Yeah, okay.
You see him on the cover here. Now he's got a suit, so he can simulate Superman powers. But I do have to say this about the more recent Superman story. I like the fact that they're bringing back in and giving a little more attention to Vandal Savage.
I like Vandal Savage.
I like Vandal Savage. I think he has the concept for a very interesting history.
Yeah.
Which if they've explored a bit in this book.
Yeah. I mean, I like Vandal Savage. I don't know about a Superman villain, though. Because I'm just kind of like... I see him more as a Justice League villain. As in, Vandal Savage will be the leader of the Legion of Doom. He'd be the one that would get everyone together.
Okay.
I see him more like that. I like the book. I think this is one Greg Pak wrote, right?
I believe so. Sure.
Out of all the crappy Superman books out right now,
yeah.
I like this one the most because I like Greg Pak's writing. But I'm waiting for Superman to come back. I'm just like, let me know when y'all are coming back with this because Luke Cage, Superman, Clark Cage... I don't know if I'm a fan of it. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm waiting for it to come back.
Hey, man, it's White Cage, and that's what he does.
White Cage. White. So can we go on Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage.
Is it Nicolas Cage?
This is Nick Cage Superman.
Nick Cage Superman. All right. We christened him Nick Cage Superman.
That's funny. Yeah. It's an okay-ish book. I'm not a big Superman fan. Personally, I feel that they don't write his character very well. I hear there's going to be an upcoming series where they're bringing him back as Superman.
Well, yeah, they're
bringing back like almost a Superman kind of thing, and I think that's even a worse direction than what they've gone with now.
Agreed.
Bringing back more than one Superman. I don't like the concept of multiple Superman because he's so overpowered.
Yeah, he's already powerful as shit.
He's basically just written for whatever storyline. I think he's... here we see him laying on the ground with Wonder Woman, Kryptonite all around him. On Tuesday, that would kill him. On Wednesday, it won't kill him. On Thursday, it makes him more powerful. On Friday, it makes him have super babies. Who knows?
I'm tired of Kryptonite.
I'm tired of Kryptonite and Kryptonians.
Yeah.
Let's kill the last of them and make it a Kryptonian-free universe. Everybody, look, Earth would be better. Mm-hmm. The universe would be better. Superman storylines would be much better without him or any other Kryptonians in it. Right. We can't even make clone Kryptonians anymore. Mm-hmm. We don't even get that option. We got to make him now an android. So the coolest Kryptonian out is now shitty Kryptonian.
DC, stop fucking up Superman.
Yeah,
we get it. You guys love Batman, but some of us like Superman. I want to read Superman. I want to. I don't want to be a Marvel guy. I want to read Superman.
I want to come over for something other than Batman.
Seriously.
Let me come over for something other than just that one character.
I want to read. There was a time where I was reading almost as much DC as I did Marvel. But now I'm just kind of like...
It's sporadic.
It's just... I don't know. They're trying new things with him, and I'm all for trying new things, but him not having all his powers is lame. Yeah. To me, that's not Superman.
And I'm tired of it. You can skip this arc. Like I said, the only thing redeemable is they do give Vandal Savage a little bit more attention, which he's a character that I just like. Like you said, I'd rather him be a villain for the Justice League or somebody else, but I like him as a character. And that's the only, like you said, that's the only redeeming quality of the book.
Yeah.
Is him in the book. Other than that, skip it.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's move over to another number one. This is a new release. Again, another not really reimagining, just another tale of the same character you've seen around for a long time, and that's Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is once again in a swamp. He's in the bayou and somehow comes across white people. Which is kind of...
You just described every Swamp Thing story ever created. Swamp Thing's in the swamp.
In the ethnically diverse new world, he still shows up with two white people. Not even like a white guy and a black chick or a black guy and a white chick. No, no diversity whatsoever. He comes across. And, he comes across also the white Phantom Stranger who shows up. It's basically Swamp Thing meets white people.
I never understood the concept of Swamp Thing. I just never understood what was the point of his character. I guess there's something in the DC universe called the Green.
And that's more recent. The Green wasn't tied before. Swamp Thing previously was tied to the swamp. Mm-hmm. The idea was that he was the muck. He was mystically tied to it, and it was the swamp given form through voodoo.
Yeah.
And the idea of voodoo is that your blood ties to greater magics, and that wasn't before. Recently, and I think mainly because of Earth 2 storyline, they've connected it almost like an elemental setup, where you have kind of a Gaia of colors to complement their Green Lantern bullshit. And the red is the animal, the green is the earth, there's a white or a blue, which I don't fucking know what it is anymore. Might be the cold weather, who the hell, or spirit or some shit. And they have elemental backings, and they can power. Or no, there's the white, which is like the dead, or is the black.
Yeah, I know the white was the dead.
Yeah, wasn't the dead because it was like Grundy was part of.
Yeah,
that,
Grundy was a part of the dead.
Grundy was before he was voodoo, born in the swamp, whatever.
Yeah, he was born in the swamp. Yeah,
he was like super Swamp Thing.
Yeah, exactly. He was Swamp Thing almost before Swamp Thing. So,
but they did that, and now they have relationships to these powers. So, like the old Green Lantern, Earth 2, is now, or Alan, what is his name? Alan Scott.
Alan Scott. Yeah.
He's tied to the Green. So his entire power in Earth 2 comes from the Green. So
how you just gonna kick the original Green Lantern from his post?
Well, just he's technically not in the main universe. I don't know what he's
in Earth 2 now, so like
he is Earth
they don't want to confuse people because he's a Green Lantern, but he's not a Green Lantern at the same time. It's weird, because he's not a Green Lantern. He has a Green Lantern. He's the original Green Lantern. He has a ring that does kind of sort of the same thing. But his don't come from the Guardians. His is like his own thing. Yeah, it's weird and it's weak to wood.
Weak to wood instead of yellow, as the old ones used to be back in the day, which is written out now.
Yeah, they got rid of that
because Parallax is no longer trapped in the main battle.
It was weird, but it worked. It was weird, but it worked.
They made it work out. They made it work out.
Yeah, they just fixed it.
But it's convoluted now. The Swamp Thing storyline in this book was somewhat forgettable. If you're a Swamp Thing fan, maybe it'll get better over time, but it was essentially Swamp Thing meets another character that's been around the DC Universe, Zombie. A little bit of a fight, and now I think they're just kind of trying to reboot his franchise.
Well, he had
got popular.
He had a book that got canceled. When New 52 came out, Swamp Thing was one of the re-releases. Swamp Thing was supposed to be a Vertigo book, but they kept trying to bring Vertigo back into regular Marvel lore because they did the same thing with John Constantine. And they brought him back into regular DC Universe. And now they're trying it again, even though they're just giving him a miniseries. Because I guess there is a following for Swamp Thing. I'm not one of them. But I understand, to each their own.
I don't think that this Swamp Thing is written like the Swamp Thing that people who follow Swamp Thing have described to me.
Yeah.
And I think that
they're probably referring to the old Alan Moore ones.
Yeah, and this Swamp Thing has too much personality. He's far too talkative. He's not interesting as I'm just a superhuman being. You know what I mean? This one just seems to be all about his super strength and the fact that he can regrow himself.
Right.
With limited plant control. Look, I made vines to tie you down and I can punch. And I'm basically base human. I don't like how simple the art is. In terms of he's just overly muscular with a fucking ugly face. I don't like that the story so far is very simplistic. It's boring.
It happens in the swamp again.
Yeah, it's
and Swamp Thing's a rip off of Man Thing. I don't care what anybody says. Actually, I think they were both created by the same guy. And
probably.
Around a year.
He got 2 contracts. And it was all right, well, what do you got for me? Swampy shit. I can write muck. Animate it.
But for some reason, Swamp Thing just got hella popular and Man Thing didn't.
Yeah. Well,
but they both have movies.
Both very lame characters. Don't get it twisted.
They both have movies.
They both suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Very bad characters. But otherwise, forgettable book. I put that in here mainly because we can get to something much better, and that is my boy Midnighter. And Midnighter, I've been following this book.
Yes.
I enjoy the art.
Yes.
I enjoy the writing.
Yes.
I enjoy the character.
Yes.
I think that they're setting him up once again for a lot more killing. And what's really hard for me right now is to really say anything good about this book because I don't think I'll stop talking.
I love it.
Book.
I love it. I think it's great. I've always liked Midnighter as a character. I don't know about him being in a DC universe. I kind of liked him being on his own. But I will always love Midnighter. I like his character. I want the Authority back. God damn it.
Yeah.
I want the Authority back. They've got to still be around. I don't like that DC has just completely gotten rid of all the Wildstorm. Except for him. But there was a time they were around. There was a time there was a Hawksmoor.
True.
I mean, when New 52 first started.
Yeah, they tried to bring him back at the beginning of New 52.
When New 52 first started, there was a Stormwatch. Mm-hmm. And Midnighter, Apollo were on the team. So was Hawksmoor, Engineer. And even Hellstorm joined the team.
Jenny Sparks. Right?
Yeah, it was Jenny Quantum. Jenny Quantum. And they even brought back Hellstorm and the Weatherman.
Weatherman was back.
Weatherman was back, and they added some other characters. And
then they killed some off.
Then they got rid of that book. Grifter had a book. I remember Voodoo had a book. Voodoo from fucking Wildcats had a book when they did New 52. They were trying to say, it was their way of trying to say we're including the Wildstorm. And I would like this is my thing. I love the Midnighter book. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I would like it more if it was DC's one-stop shop for the Wildstorm universe. I would like for him to fight fucking Spartan. Have Grifter show up. Yeah. Hell, have Deathblow show up.
Yeah, I would have almost more thought that they would have gone with somebody like Grifter versus Grayson. You know, and I get where they're trying to almost tie him back, but I feel that unless you're trying to make Midnighter Batman, don't include those Bat characters which have 8 different tie-ins. Don't get me wrong, the storyline was good. I didn't mind them together, but you're saying, I think it was a missed opportunity to bring back a Grifter or somebody else, or even Engineer.
Yeah, or Engineer. You know? I would like it more if it was really just the one-stop bridge between the DC universe and the Wildstorm universe. But there's still a bunch of Wildstorm characters that are supposedly around. We just recently saw Superboy kicking it with Gen 13. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just what happened to these characters? And I think that I'm mad at DC for that, because that was a cop-out. Because they pretty much said, the Wildstorm universe isn't going away. It did. Yeah. It did.
I mean, you can't keep one or two characters out of an entire universe and say, well, it didn't go away. If Marvel... listen to this, DC. Mm-hmm. If Marvel could have 35 X-Men teams, now 9 Inhuman teams, 40 Avengers teams, and still find ways to use all these characters for teams... I mean, the Fantastic Four is basically disassembled, but Johnny and, the Thing are still around. Mm-hmm. You can make some extra fucking teams.
You can.
And don't do like Marvel. Make them unique. Give them their own names. Don't name them like A-Force or, Uncanny X-Men where they're not actually A-Force or X-Force or X-Men.
See what you just did there?
Yeah. I mean,
it's about A-Force and X. See, that's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Give them original team names.
Yeah.
Give them, unique names that apply to them, something unique.
I want an authority. I want the authority back. I like the idea.
People in charge. There you go.
Of a team that can go up against the JLA. A serious team that can seriously give the JLA a run for their money.
Yeah.
I want that. That's what I want.
Okay. I can give you that. I would like to see that. I would like them brought back, but at the same time, I think it's just hard to have a team like the Authority in the DC universe and give them the same feel that they had in Wildstorm, because Authority was raw.
Authority was the squad.
Authority was just...
Authority was the squad.
That was too good.
Authority is the squad.
I think that was almost too good. But Midnighter overall as a book, I think is good, and I think it's going to get a little more interesting too, him going up against the Suicide Squad. Sadly, the fact that it's not a Wildstorm comic means that we won't get to see him kill any of the people on the Suicide Squad, because, don't get me wrong, I like Harley, I like some people, but
I don't.
I would like to see somebody kill Deadshot. Sure.
It's not gonna happen.
Snap his neck.
That's gonna be their go-to guy.
No, they have a movie coming out, so they're protected right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They can have any dumb storyline they want. They're protected until that movie gets released and gets to Blu-ray or DVD. They're protected until that time. Right. That's studio based. But overall, Midnight solo book, good. Pick it up.
Still
Keep
good.
reading him. So hopefully they'll bring in more Wildstorm characters.
Definitely.
Preach that, please.
Yes.
Moving on into more of the DC universe, we have a book that I don't give two shits about.
Why is this even here?
I only put this here because I like the cartoon. I was a big fan of the cartoon back in the day.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the animated Batman series, even through.
For those listening, it's Batman Beyond. It's Batman Beyond.
You can see it in the background. I don't like saying, because it doesn't feel like Batman Beyond to me. It feels like they went somewhere beyond Batman and found something shitty.
It's not. And it's forced. And it's them trying to capitalize on people like you who love the book, women of the comic. I mean, like me too, who love the cartoon. Who was like, oh, it's the cartoon. Then they read the book and they're like, no, it's not the cartoon at all. Now, what they should have done, it's not good. Now, what they should have done with it, and I think this would have made it better, is if they would have done what Marvel did with Spider-Man 2099 and just brought him into our universe. And that would have been better. That would have made him a more interesting character. Because what made Batman Beyond good was that it was a kid cartoon, but it wasn't. It still had its action. It still had its drama. It was a good combination of that. And I don't get that with this book.
You know what would have been awesome, I think?
What's that?
This is an opportunity that I think they missed. Is if they would have taken, after Convergence, taken the Batman Beyond from the original universe, or even this shitty ass Batman, right? And took him and put him in regular Metropolis with Superman powered down and in this new universe, not in Gotham. So give him the bigger city, give him the bigger villains, but bring him into a universe and put him up against fights we haven't seen him, and have that Batman Beyond adjust. Because what they've done here is, like, you guys put him in a world where technology now is crippled to a degree because of the whole OMAC thing. Yeah. So now he's like, I'm high-tech Batman in a non-high-tech world with limited resources in a reboot, basically, where it's like, that's not the Batman we're seeing with Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is supposed to be next-gen Batman. Right. You're saying putting him from the future into current-time Metropolis would have been better, because then he could tinker still with things. You know what I mean? Now you're putting him into, like, now it's like Wasteland Batman, essentially.
Yeah, and I don't care for it. It doesn't have the feel of the book, the cartoon. Yeah. And my point is, what is the point of doing a comic based on a cartoon if it doesn't feel like it?
Exactly. This is more of a warning than a review. Don't buy this. Let it go off the shelves. Let it die, and hopefully they get the message. Batman Beyond is what we want, not the Bed Bath and Beyond shit you put on there. Bed Bath and Beyond. I mean, just if you pick this title up, I'm sorry. Wash your hands of it. Donate it.
Donate it to. Give it to a kid.
Yeah.
Give it to a small.
Give it to a kid who can't read, though. Don't give it to a kid who can't read and will have to suffer. He can look at the pictures, and hopefully he'll get into other comic books, and he'll find his way that way. But he'll be like, look, somebody gave me this thing that I can wipe my butt with, and I felt good about it. I was able to read good comics as a result.
Exactly.
We're happy. Moving on to the next one, we'll move actually into an actual Batman book, and that is the Batman and Robin Eternal, which the Batman Mother arc, I feel it's being written well. I'm somewhat interested in it. I've been following it. I'm not overly excited, though.
The reason why I'm not overly excited is because weekly books are hard.
Okay.
And you could tell when they're trying to stretch something out.
Right.
They're trying to stretch it out because they got to do a weekly book. And so I get that feeling with this book sometimes where there's a lot of talking or something that could have happened that doesn't. Instead something else happened. A lot of flashbacks. It's all, and you could tell it started out really, really strong. But you could tell they're starting to hit a point where they're just like, oh my God. Like, I got to keep cranking out these stories.
How many more weeks is this going on?
I know, right? And they got like 40 or 50 issues they're doing. I want to learn more about Bluebird. Or is it Blue Jay?
Blue Jay? I think it's Bluebird.
Bluebird, yeah. I want to know more about Bluebird.
What about her?
I just want to know more about her character.
You read her whole... I mean, she had a whole origin book. I mean...
I did it. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the main reasons I read that. I read that, and I meet this Bluebird character, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even know what this is. So I'm doing my research now to go more on her character. But I will continue to read this book because Cassandra Cain is the goddess among men. She was the biggest casualty of New 52. She was a solid character. She was great. People liked her. And then they just got rid of her book. And now they have Barbara Gordon as Batgirl again, which it's doing well, but to me, I'm like, I would have rather had Cassandra.
Yeah, I think Barbara Gordon is a kind of more of a shot at Disney again, where if we decide to make a Batgirl movie, it will be a young female character. We do have that, kind of more likable one. Where I personally, and I think we talked about this before, I liked her as Oracle. She's better than Oracle. I don't care. Give her legs. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Let her be Oracle. You know, I don't want her to. I don't know. I don't like the idea that she's. How'd I put it? I like the idea that she's the friendlier new Batgirl. She came back to being Batgirl. I like the idea that, look, you got shot. You got hurt in the line of duty. Yeah. You know what I mean? You still help out in whatever ways. Sure, we can make you walk again, but you'll never be that person again.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. And I'm with that. I like that idea, actually. She can still be Oracle. She can still kick ass. I mean, she can still walk, but just have her be Oracle instead of Batgirl. That's where I'm kind of at with it.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Other than that, back to this book. I've always have a soft spot in my heart for the Robins. So I support it. I read it. If you like the Batman lore, it's good.
Yeah. It's definitely written well. Yeah. It's definitely written well. Yeah. Like you said, it feels like it's starting to get a little bit stretched out. Yeah. In terms of we are getting entire issues that are almost nothing but backstory.
Filler.
Hey,
like how they do in mangas. Yeah. Like they have a lot of do with mangas when they have to wait for the anime to get caught up. Yeah. Exactly. Like that's how I feel with this.
Like, hey, what's going on? I don't know. Goku and Piccolo are gonna learn to drive.
Yeah, so we'll do a whole manga, a whole bunch that just nothing happens at all.
So what happened today? I don't know. Today we went and got pho. So today was pho.
You call it pho?
Tomorrow, pho.
Pho,
whatever.
I'm gonna walk in next time and be like, yo, I want some pho.
Give me some of that pho food.
Give me some of that pho.
Yeah, my bad. Pho.
That's all good.
I know how it says sometimes, when you just saying it, but
it's all good.
There's a whole episode on that. So
that's a whole episode, yeah.
Whole episode. But overall, it's not too bad of a book. Collect the series. It should be kind of interesting. I like it. Like I said, if you're a Robin fan, especially, this is some of the new backstory for the Robin folks, and pretty good. And last one that I'm including for the week is actually just going to be another Batman because that's what DC primarily rocks. And this is with my boy the Red Marine. And I call him the Red Marine because Batman is no longer the trained ninja that we had before. He's a red-headed ex-Marine. I mean, he's the Red Marine Batman. This Batman actually took it a little bit of a different turn. Okay. And it put good old Gordon in primarily without his suit. And what I think they're trying to give us with this issue, which I'm a little more excited about with this series, is I think we're going to get a full-on new kind of detective field case. Not as much superhero, which I think they've been doing a good job of keeping Gordon a little more street level. Yes, even though they've had him visit with the Justice League and stuff, but it was for his detective skills.
Yes, exactly.
This is putting him up against more of a serial killer. And I don't know if they're trying to invent him a kind of Scarecrow level, Mr. Freeze, not quite Joker. I don't know if they're going to go there yet. Give him an arch villain, but I think they're trying to give him a bigger, more twisted villain and give us that good read detective story that really catches people with Batman.
I get what you're saying, and I've always said for years, Batman has like 8